This is the Module 8 intro video. So in this module, we're going to continue looking at single quantitative variables and learning how to summarize them. In this module, we're going to focus in particular on numeric summaries of the quantitative variables. So keeping that in mind, one of the things you're going to learn to do is to summarize data into tables. And so often we don't want to list in paragraph form a bunch of numeric summaries. Those are harder for people to read. So we do want to summarize those in tables. So by the time you get to the end of the module, one of the things you're going to need to do is to create some different tables that summarize different quantitative variables. And what you'll find that when we get to that point is in the SAS and the R code that I have given you, I have shown you how to take a single variable and calculate these different descriptive statistics. But for the table, what I'm going to ask you to do is for a single categorical variable that has two options to do that same thing for each of the options. So what you're going to have to do when you get to this point is go back and look at some of the previous R and SAS code that you've seen, and I'll give you a couple hints in the assignment itself. But you want to go back and see, okay, were there ways that we saw how we could separate data out to only look at single values for a particular variable, and see if you can brainstorm and play around with the code to get what you want. Often in data analysis, this is a very important part, is being able to take code that you have and change it slightly, or to add in maybe an extra variable to get information that you need. Now, of course, I'm here to help you with this process, and so if you get stuck, feel free to ask me questions. But I do see if you can branch out, given the information that you have, see if you can figure out how to separate your data so that you can look at two different values for a categorical variable and then calculate different descriptive statistics within each of those values. And again, I'm here to help you, but I do want you to struggle with it some, because that is an important part about learning how to code as well as learning how to do data analysis. And the other thing that I want to really emphasize is that the way that this was developed is you're going to continually go back and look at the things that you've done in the past, bring that to the future, and you're going to keep on cycling through the material. And this is how a real data analysis project works. So one of the ideas that we're going to revisit in this model is that idea of weighting and how that could potentially bias our analyses. So you have a worksheet where you're going to go through and you're actually going to be summarizing some categorical variables, which we saw 2 modules before. But again, it's this idea of continually cycling through the material and revisiting what we did before and building on that information so that by the time we get to the end of the course, you've got a lot of information and a really good report. The communication will be good. So everything builds on itself. So keep that in mind. As always, if you have any questions or you need help with anything, please let me know. This is meant to be a learning process, so I'm here to help guide that process in any way that I can. So again, if you have any questions, please let me know, and I hope you have a wonderful week.